So the dust has kind of settled, I guess, on President Biden's State of the Union address from earlier this week. But unfortunately for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas who gave the response to President Biden's State of the Union, the criticism of her and her performance has not yet let up. Which, aside from the time when Marco Rubio gave the response and desperately had to reach for water because he was getting a little choked up, never have I seen a rebuttal to the State of the Union continue to drag out criticism days after it happened. But that is apparently what is happening with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, as her hometown newspaper ran a scathing op-ed attacking her for basically having nothing of substance to say and spitting out, as they called it, a word salad. Here is what the paper wrote. Ted Cruz and Marjorie Taylor Greene might not have liked it much, but President Joe Biden exceeded expectations with his State of the Union address. Hecklers tried but failed to knock him off his game. His signature empathy infused the hour-plus speech, and at the end, there was little doubt this 80-year-old man isn't done yet. As the celebratory after-party rolled on in the U.S. House chamber, Governor Sarah Sanders commandeered TV screens to darken the mood. Excerpts her office shared earlier in the day hinted Sanders' speech would include her standard snarling about wokeness and the radical left. No surprises there. The author then continued on and said that the speech was, quote, a word salad of talking points and name-calling with some attempts at folksy relatability thrown in, but it was, quote, light on policy, heavy on menace. That's your hometown newspaper, okay? We're not talking about a bunch of bleeding heart liberals in the, corporate media. We're talking about the paper that the people who voted for you read probably on a daily basis. That's not good. It's also not good that, again, days after you gave your rebuttal, people are still talking about how bad it was. But everybody's talked about her like, do you want to have normal or crazy? And people are like, well, the Republicans are crazy, so we're going to choose normal, and that's not you. The big thing, of course, is the lack of substance, right? I mean, it's stupid, all the wokeness she threw out there, the attacks on marginalized people, but no substance. This country does have very real problems that we are facing. And she had nothing to say, no solutions to offer for any of those. She didn't talk about prescription drug prices. She didn't talk about fixes to the economy. She didn't talk about helping struggling people be able to afford necessities. She didn't talk about catastrophic environmental damage. Of course, Republicans don't. But those are all things that are happening across the country every single day. And you couldn't say a single thing about any of them because your party has no stance on these things other than to say, we don't like Democrats. That may work in local campaigns, but on the national level, and this was your national spotlight, Sarah, you failed. You failed to point out even one single Republican policy that would benefit working class people, just as so many other Republicans have tried and failed to do. Because that's what you're all about. You don't have real solutions. You don't even know how to actually govern. You know how to throw red meat to your base. You know you got to throw out those buzzwords like radical left, woke, socialism. You don't even know what any of those things mean. But you throw them out there because you think your base is stupid. That's insulting to them, even though most of them buy it. But at the end of the day, Republicans can't talk about policy because they don't know policy. They haven't had to actually govern and do real things to help working class Americans literally throughout my entire lifetime, and I'm turning 40 in a couple days. And this is where we're at. That's why Sarah Huckabee Sanders continues to get hammered for this response days and days after it even took place. And again, as somebody who's been covering this for nearly 20 years, only one other time I've seen that, and it's because Marco Rubio got a little too thirsty during his speech. Other than that, nobody's talked about the rebuttal for days afterwards because of how bad it was. So Sarah, that is a unique distinction and honor that you solely now hold. Hi everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.